decimals, percents, unit, and this is going to be a long video because I'm going to go through every answer. So fast forward or rewind until you get to the problem that you struggle with. Remember, use a calculator when needed. Let's start in on number 1. A chuck has 4.3 kilograms of mixed nuts. Which letter point is closest to 4.3 on the number line? So I know my number line is broken up into tenths. So I know that this is 4.1, and I'm going to change the size of my pen so it's really thin. And this is 4.2, 4.3, and so on. So I already know that B is the right answer. What is the value of the 7 and 42 and 76 hundredths? Well, that 7 is in the tenth spot, so that's B. Round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to be rounding this number. So I look here at the hundredths, and I know that that's 4 or less, let it rest. So that's going to be 4.6. Write 1/4 as a decimal. You can do one of two things. You could just know the answer, but if you don't, you can put into your calculator 1 divided by 4, and then that's going to give you 0.25. You could also think of this as 1/4, and I wrote a 4 when it should be a 5, because 1/4 is 1/4 of something, and that's how you can remember 25, like 25 cents. Sylvia bought a blouse for $13.20. I'm going to underline that because that's important. She gave the clerk a $20 bill. How much money should Sylvia get? So we're going to do some subtraction, and it's going to be 20.00 minus 13.20. Feel free to use your calculator, but you can be stubborn like me and just do it otherwise. Remember, when we do subtraction and addition with decimals, we line up our decimal. We can even drop our decimal. So 0 minus 0 is 0. Can't take 2 away from there or there. 20 becomes 19. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. And 1 minus 0, or 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's $6.80. So the answer is B. All right, now we're multiplying decimals. When we multiply decimals, we count how many decimal places. So I know I have 1 spot here and 2 spots there. 6 times 8 is 48, and I'm going to have 2 decimal places. So that's going to be letter A. Almost done. Camellia bought 4 hair ties for $3.40. Each, that tells me, cost the same amount. How much did she pay for the hair tie? So this is the total amount she paid. So I need to do some division. So 3.40 divided by 4. Now when we do this, we just carry our decimal straight up. 4 can't go into 3, but can go into 34 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract, I get 2 left over, bring down my 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. She spent 85 cents, so C. You could also use a calculator. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12. I get nothing left over. I'm going to move my decimal up and bring my 6 down. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. I subtract with 2, bring down the 8. 4 goes into 28 7 times, minus 28. So it's going to be 3.17. Remember, you can use a decimal. All right. This tells me hundredths. So I'm going to put my decimal and put that number behind hundredths. 67 hundredths. This region is divided into 100 small squares. What percent of the region is shaded? So I know that this is 10, 20, 30%, and that would be B. What is the decimal equivalent for 81%? Well, I know that I moved my decimal place because there's a decimal here and I move it over to 1, 2, and I get 0.81, which is D. Which number represents 25% of 200? Awesome. So that means of means multiply. So I'm going to change this to a decimal. 0.25 times 200. Now you can do this with your calculator or you can do it with long math. I'm going to do it with long math and I'm going to show you a secret shortcut. I'm going to put 0.25 on the top and 200 on the bottom. Placeholder 0, placeholder 0. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus the 1 is 5. Now, I have to count my decimal places, so I had 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place. Here's my decimal, 1, 2. So 50 is my answer, which is B. You will also be responsible for taxes and sales. Taxes we add, sales discounts we subtract. And so it's just going to be like number 12, and then we're going to add it to the number or subtract it. Come find me if you need some help.